howdy, hey, what is going on, you guys? It is your boy Pirate here, and once again we are back with another video. Now in today's video we got a very unique sort of video ahead of us. We are outside right now, but we're going to be kind of changing directions on where we go, because today we are doing a Q&A video. So I did a post on my Instagram story, it'll pop up right here, and I said, hey, send in some questions because I'm going to be doing a Q&A, and a lot of you guys have been wanting me to do a Q&A. So on Instagram and on my YouTube, you guys have been leaving me all sorts of questions, so we're going to be answering all of y'all's questions in today's video. Maybe not all of them, but as many as we can get to. Now before we get into the video, you notice anything different? The whole ground is dried up and it's like 60, 70 degrees out. It feels beautiful out today. And this is all the snow that remains from the little snowstorm we had here in Texas. That little bit, that's all that's left. Everything else is just melted away. I am so confused with Texas right now. It's 70 degrees out, perfect weather, but literally 2 days ago it was 20 degrees. What? But we are done with snow. We are absolutely done with snow for the rest of this year, till Christmas comes around or whatever. So this little bit is going bye-bye. Can we just pick this up in one chunk? See ya, sucker! Alrighty, that works. But now, without further ado, let's start popping up some questions for this Q&A. Now this first question says 10 favorite pets. Now I'm not sure if you mean pets in general or my personal pets. We're gonna say my personal pets, so I'll show you my 10 favorite. Number 1 is of course gonna be Gucci, then the Milky Frogs wherever they're at, then the Dart Frogs, you can see one chilling right there, then Houdini and Fuego, my two snakes. Fuego's right there and Houdini's right there. Then of course my crested geckos. These are Brazilian rainbow boa wherever he's at. Then of course Ian and Abrams, my two sulcatas. I also really like Blue, or Blue Iguana. He's definitely one of my favorites as well. And last is gonna be our big boy Gamera here. Look at that beast. He's definitely on my top 10 as well. That was roughly my 10 favorite animals, but it's hard to choose with all the different animals I own. Now this next question popping up right here says, will I do a bigger pond in the future? Yes, I will. Now to say the least, I have tons of plans for this entire area here, but I don't want to talk about it too much. That'll be for another video. But yes, there will be another pond or some sort of thing similar to it being built, if not a few. Next question popping up right over here said, Maverick, you're right where it's gonna pop up. It's gonna pop up covering Maverick's head, hopefully. Just pop up the question like, bloop. There we go, that works. It says, what is your favorite species of turtle or favorite species of turtle? It's either Mata Mata or Indian spotted turtles. I've talked about Indian spotted turtles a lot already. I love those turtles. They're probably close to my dream turtle species. I just can't seem to find them anywhere. But yeah, either Mata Matas or Indian spotted turtles. Next question popping up right over here says, how much did your perm cost? Technically like $20, just because every once in a while I get the sides faded, but everything else is natural, y'all. This is all natural curly hair. Alright, next question. Really, why would someone ask that? How much does your perm cost? How much does your perm cost? It's natural. People don't understand it, my hair's natural. I know. Yeah, I know. Thank you. Thank you. Mwah. Here's the next question. I don't know why you guys are so hateful to me. I mean, just read that. Just read that. Why are y'all so hateful to me? I'm not even going to remotely answer that question. Let's just move on. Alrighty, Jonah, the next question is popping up right here. What does it say?
What is your easiest pet to care for?
Well, what is my easiest pet to care for?
The Pac-Man frog.
The Pac-Man frogs? Yeah, they are super duper easy, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, Jonah, thank you for helping me answer that question. Without further ado, let's move on. Alright, got another question popping up right here. It says, are you planning on changing anything in the reptile room? Now, that's a pretty good question. At the time, not right immediately, but throughout this year, I definitely plan on changing a whole lot of things up in the reptile room. A lot of these enclosures here are going to get changed up and done differently, but those are some of the few things that I'm going to change. Well, next question. Alrighty, next question popping up right over here says, some of the most rip-off and overpriced items. Now that's a really good question, honestly, and it's hard to find true rip-off items, and I wouldn't even call this a rip-off item, but it is kind of overpriced. Now the item I am talking about is called a solar meter. These things are like upwards of $200. They're super duper expensive, and a lot of reptile keepers say you have to have them when you really don't. So they're not necessarily overpriced, as they are just expensive and not as useful as people might say they are. Next question says, how tall are you? Well, I'm actually 5'4". I don't know how tall you are, but here's my little brother compare me. Like soon in a couple of years, he'll be taller than me, because I'm actually really, really short. Now they also asked, is Gucci my most iconic animal? She is. She's really the most popular animal on my YouTube channel. I think she's fan favorite by like 2,000 people. Ain't that right, Gucci? I mean, everybody loves this fat toad. Yeah, she's definitely my most iconic animal. Boop, boop. Would you ever tour England? I personally don't see why not. Eventually, over time, I want to tour all sorts of different places across the world to show you guys all of their animals, whether it's native or at like a pet store. So eventually, I don't see why not. Favorite enclosure you've worked on? This is by far my favorite enclosure right here. Obviously, I mean, this thing is a beautiful setup with some dart frogs just chilling inside of it. Favorite and least favorite part of keeping animals and making videos? Well, my favorite part of keeping animals is I have all these wonderful animals that I can show you guys, and I can show other people, educate people about all sorts of crazy different reptiles. It's also just like my hobby, so in general, I'm of course going to love taking care of my animals. But on the other hand, my least favorite part is it is a lot of work, a heck of a lot of work. It's still fun work, but it is a lot of work. Same thing with videos. I love making videos for you guys. It's another one of my hobbies. So I like that I can combine both keeping my animals and filming together. But it is a lot of work to edit these videos and all that good stuff. So those are kind of my favorite and least favorite things about my animals and of course making videos. Next question is, how did I get into reptiles? That's a pretty decent question. I've been asked before. There's a few main reasons. First of all, when I was younger, I took a couple trips to Florida, and obviously Florida has a lot of natural wildlife, especially of course including reptiles. And then my dad found a little tiny toad in our backyard at our old house, and ever since I saw that toad, I decided to get my own. Then I got my own. I was happy with those, and I kept wanting more and kept getting more and more animals. Then after getting toads, then I got hermit crabs, then frogs, then lizards, and so on and so forth. Next up, Findrin asks recommendations for beginner reptiles / amphibians that aren't as common as leopard or crested geckos. That's a good question. It's kind of a really tough thinking game to decide an animal that's not as common, but that's a beginner reptile, if that makes sense. Honestly, I have to go with like African fat-tailed geckos. They're similar to leopard geckos. They're not as common, but they also make pretty decent beginning pets. Then for the tropical side, I would probably have to go with gargoyle geckos. Once again, they're kind of similar to crested geckos, but they're a little bit more hard to find and a little bit more uncommon. So yeah, African fat-tailed geckos and gargoyle geckos. Next question says, what is your favorite pet other than Gucci? That's a tough decision because you guys know I love Gucci so much. I'd probably have to go with the Amazon milky frogs, though they're like super high up there. Maybe the Sonoran desert toads. It's kind of hard to tell, but those are probably gonna be my next two favorite. Then they ask, can you do more videos on your iguana? I can. Just let me know what kind of videos you want to see down in the comments. Alright y'all, I'm having the last question of today's Q&A video pop up right here. And they're asking, what are your dream reptiles? That's a pretty decent question. Now it's really hard for me to say exactly what my dream animals are, but I know one that I've always kind of wanted is a speckled caiman. Now obviously I can't own that without special permits and all sorts of things like that, but either a speckled caiman or maybe some Galapagos tortoises would be pretty cool. There's a lot of different animals that I want to own over time, so I don't really have an exact dream animal, if that makes any sense. But yeah, as I said, that's the last question of today's Q&A video. So hey, if you did not see your Q&A question on today's video, maybe I'll do a part 2. And if I do a part 2, then resend your question and you'll probably be featured in the video. But right now it is currently 8:50. So that means I gotta get ready to wrap it up because it is getting late and I still got a lot of stuff to do. With all that being said, make sure to drop a like on today's video if you enjoyed, subscribe, follow my Instagram and TikTok, both linked down in the description. With all that being said, drop some video ideas and suggestions down in the comments. I got some pretty dope videos coming out, just letting you know. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace! Stupid shrimp!